This video contrasts two science fiction warlords, John Carter of Mars versus the Warlord, real name Travis Morgan, whose adventures take place in a hollow Earth, to show you the sort of adventures that each character gets involved in. After this introduction image, a chronological series of comic covers related to John Carter, followed by Travis Morgan, are presented. Lots of exciting information is provided, but is not intended to correspond to the specific cover being shown. Publishers include Marvel Comics, Dynamite Entertainment, and DC Comics, and the comics were published from 1975 to 2021. Both characters share a somewhat similar story about what happens when an individual encounters a new world and their impact upon that new world. In the near future, do you want a live-action movie made about either or both characters? And if so, do you have any actors that you want cast, and as who? John Carter of Mars was created by Edgar Rice Burroughs, who also later created Tarzan and many other characters. Edgar Rice Burroughs was an American author who lived from 1875 to 1950. He is best known for his prolific output in the adventure, science fiction, and fantasy genres. John Carter and his romantic interest, Dejah Thoris, debuted in the story Under the Moons of Mars, serialized in the February to July 1912 issues of the all-story pulp magazine. The serialization was published as the novel A Princess of Mars in 1917, and 10 more Mars books were published over the next several decades. The books told not just the story of John Carter, but many other characters. Titles included The Gods of Mars, The Warlord of Mars, Thuvia, Maid of Mars, The Chessmen of Mars, The Mastermind of Mars, A Fighting Man of Mars, Swords of Mars, Synthetic Men of Mars, Lana of Gathel, and John Carter of Mars. This Mars series inspired a number of well-known science fiction writers, including Jack Vance, Ray Bradbury, Arthur C. Clarke, Robert A. Heinlein, and John Norman. The series was also inspirational for many scientists in the fields of space exploration and the search for extraterrestrial life, including Carl Sagan, who read A Princess of Mars when he was a child. John Carter of Mars was a major influence on other science fiction tales and characters, including Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon, Superman, Adam Strange, Star Wars, and Avatar, to name just a few. John Carter is immortal, remembers no childhood, and served in the American Civil War on the side of the Confederacy. The story starts with John Carter, a Civil War veteran, prospecting for gold in Arizona. To escape from hostile Apaches, he enters a cave. In that cave, he is mysteriously teleported to Mars. On Mars, with its lower gravity, he discovers that he is effectively much stronger than on Earth. For example, he can jump much higher. He soon encounters large, green, six-limbed, aggressive human-like creatures called Tharks. The Tharks subsequently capture Dejah Thoris, a princess of Helium, a member of a red-skinned human-like group of Martians, and John Carter rescues her and eventually marries her, and they have a son, Cathoris, and daughter, Tara. Both his children play significant roles in some of the many Mars series stories. Dejah Thoris is courageous, resolute, and beautiful. On Mars, which its natives call Barsoom, Carter encounters both formidable alien creatures resembling the beasts of ancient myth and various humanoids. He finds his true calling in life as a warlord who strives to save the planet's inhabitants. The world was loosely inspired by astronomical speculation at the time the stories were being written. The Mars that John Carter experiences is a Earth-like world that is becoming less hospitable to life due to its advanced age. With dwindling resources, the inhabitants have become hardened and warlike, fighting one another to survive. Once, it was a wet world with continents and oceans, but the seas gradually dried up, leaving it a dry planet of highlands interspersed with moss-covered Dead Sea bottoms. Abandoned cities line the former coasts, and scarce water supplies are distributed via a worldwide system of canals. The thinning atmosphere is artificially replenished by an atmosphere plant on whose function all life on the planet is dependent. In 2009, there was a direct-to-DVD movie titled Princess of Mars. In 2012, there was a Disney movie titled John Carter, with Taylor Kitsch as John Carter and Lynn Collins as Dejah Thoris. The Warlord, in addition to being a science fiction character, is also a sword and sorcery character. The Warlord was created by writer-artist Mike Grell, and his genesis was a comic strip called Savage Empire. Savage Empire was born of Grell's admiration for Hal Foster's Prince Valiant and Bern Hogarth's Tarzan, combined with his fascination with archaeology and lost civilizations. Grell described pitching his idea to DC Comics as completely revising the concept from Savage Empire into the Warlord. The Warlord's actual name is Travis Morgan, and he obtains the name Warlord as he fights for the freedom of the people of Skartaris. The origin story is that of a U.S. spy pilot whose SR-71 is damaged while on a mission over Russia and plunges through an opening at the North Pole into a world at the center of the Earth. In this underground world, called Skartaris, are creatures from mythology and Earth's ancient past that coexist amid fantastic cities and leftovers of the civilization of Atlantis. It is strongly reminiscent of Edgar Rice Burroughs' Hollow Earth world of Pellucidar. There, Travis is joined by Shambhala's princess, later queen, Tara, and he becomes the Warlord and fights villains such as the evil sorcerer Deimos, as well as various kings. He gained various sidekicks such as Shakira, a feline shapeshifter, a Russian scientist named Mariah, and his magic-wielding daughter, Jennifer Morgan. The character, the Warlord, debuted in first issue special number 8, cover dated November 1975. The decision to give the Warlord his own series had already been made by the time his first issue special went into production. The original series ran from number 1, cover dated February 1976, to number 133, cover dated winter 1988. After that were guest appearances and multiple new series. In 2005, the Warlord appeared in the Justice League Unlimited TV episode Chaos at the Earth's Core. His last series was from 2009 to 2010 and consisted of 16 issues. In issue number 12, cover dated May 2010, it appears that the Warlord dies. The series begins with an explorer finding perfectly preserved dinosaur remains in the Himalayas. She takes the head of one to a doctor, and an expedition is set up to retrieve more samples. The team is spotted by the Chinese government and flees into caves after losing several members. They discover a portal and after walking through find themselves in Scartaris, where they encounter Travis Morgan, and this is the beginning of an exciting series of events. Travis Morgan is attacked by a giant bird and kills it with the help of Shakira. Refugees enter Shambhala, and Morgan discovers that a new god has taken over the Shadow Kingdom and has overrun the kingdom of Kiro, Mashit's homeland. One of the refugees is injured, and he surprisingly carries a gunshot wound. The machinations of Deimos pit Travis Morgan against Tinder. Just as Morgan realizes that Tinder is in fact his son Joshua, he becomes distracted and Tinder mortally wounds him. Travis Morgan's final words were, "I thought I'd have more time." Morgan is cremated and Tinder becomes the new Warlord. His costume is reminiscent of Travis Morgan's black outfit when he first arrived in Scartaris. Instead of carrying a sword and a gun as Travis did, Tinder carries a sword, a dagger, a quiver of arrows, and a bow. However, by Convergence number 4, cover dated June 2015, Travis Morgan is alive. Later, he appears in Trinity number 18, cover dated April 2018. More videos like this one, short and longer, can be viewed at the Comic Excitement Convention Science Fiction playlist. Please like, comment, subscribe, and click the notifications bell.